This week on the Drake Insider.
A trophy missing for nearly 100 years unlocks the story of the beginning of Drake Athletics. Plus, solar energy will soon take the Roger Knapp Tennis Center off the grid. And we check in with former football player and state representative Wayne Ford. But first, we'll start the show talking Costa Rica with men's basketball.
You're watching the Drake Insider, a Drake Sports Media production.
This is the Drake Insider, and I'm your host, Michael Admire. We are just a few weeks from competition returning to campus with fall sports. But this weekend, the men's basketball team will get a few games in Costa Rica. The basketball season remains off in the distance. However, these past 8 weeks have been anything but a summer vacation.
The new guys have really bought into kind of the culture of our program and how hard we want them to compete on a daily basis and the type of effort that they need to bring every day.
Just being a veteran now and having to, kind of look after the new guys, just teaching the new guys things that I learned from the previous years. Remembering my mistakes, kind of helping them, be more prepared for the college scene.
I feel like I adjusted pretty well, just getting used to the guys and the new coaching staff, and I feel like my last school really prepared me for this great opportunity.
With 7 completely new players, it's revved up the competition.
We've got a lot of fun matchups, and some days one guy will get the better of the other one, and then there'll be the next day it'll get flipped, and that's what you want. That's when you're getting closer to where you want to be in terms of the amount of depth you have, and the competition and practice every day only makes everybody better. That part's been fun for us as coaches to see them go at it on a daily basis, and then at the end of practice they're back to being friends again, and the competition's over.
During the trip to Costa Rica, the Bulldogs will play 3 games, a welcome chance to face some unfamiliarity.
We've been playing each other for 2 months now, so everybody kind of knows each other's game and stuff like that. So it'd be good to beat up on somebody else.
Just working and winning. We don't want to have no losses, and we want to have a good time out there.
And the guys are also looking forward to the change of pace outside of basketball.
Relaxing, kicking my feet up, and just kicking it with my guys.
I'm a big beach guy, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Just kicking on the beach, getting in the ocean. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
It'll be more of a relaxed trip where we're just going to go have fun and let them see the sights and sounds and take it all in.
Finally, that feel of summer vacation before the season creeps closer and closer.
1, 2, 1.
Season ticket renewal information will be out later this week for the men's and women's basketball programs, so be on the lookout for that. There's also a new look to the Roger Knapp Tennis Center, and it's one more step in reducing the university's carbon footprint. Each university advancement project comes with its own set of circumstances. This particular one just made sense.
What made this effort really special is that it was this really wonderful matching of shared values.
It's the combination of a campus initiative to cut back on the carbon footprint, the financial backing from John Lorenzen, his wife Penny Filmer, and other donors with a similar conviction.
It was one with joy and enthusiasm that we represented the Lorenzen values and Drake's values, and we were just overwhelmed by the generosity of spirit that our constituency responded.
This isn't the first project geared towards going green, but it's the first using solar energy.
Well, this will be our first, like I said, and hopefully not our last. Once we get the information and understanding of how this can really help Drake assist us in our goals, we'll probably install more of them moving on.
The Roger Knapp Tennis Center was the perfect vessel for this maiden voyage into solar power.
Start to identify impact of scale of project around sustainability. Those high volume areas were important.
We picked a building that was visible from the public. Was actually visited by students, faculty, and the public itself, and so that just came through as a great location to try our first array.
All in all, the 128 kilowatt solar array will create enough energy to power 15 homes and eliminate 108 cubic metric tons of CO2 per year. The Tennis Center solar panels will officially be in use later this summer. Now, this next story has several twists and turns that eventually takes us to the beginning of Drake Athletics. Here's a look at one of the oldest and newest items in the Paul Morrison Athletics collection.
It was a table just like this, and I just reached in there, and lo and behold, I picked up the item, and there it was.
Richard Clark says he inherited a love for antiquing from his parents, so they're partially to thank for this story, a story that will begin in 2017 when Clark visited Putney Auction Service in Indianola.
I go to auctions quite frequently. This was a case of I go for the different and the unusual.
This picture from that day shows the pile of silver-plated antiques. It was this piece that caught Clark's eye.
So I picked it up and looked at it, and I could see amongst the blackened loss of its silver plate the names of Drake University on there.
As an alumnus from the class of 1973, Clark knew he had to have this piece to begin the puzzle awaiting him.
When the auction went off, I was the bidder. I started the bid and I ended the bid at $5, and I ended the bid at $10, and it was mine. So taking it home, get on the computer and try to find out what information I can.
The trophy gave Clark his first clues. There were dates, 1894 to 1899, with each year a winner next to it. Drake University twice in 1896 and 1899, but also Des Moines, Dubuque, Cedar Rapids. Drake was the only university listed. Then at the very top, the event title.
Iowa State Pentathlon Contest. Well, that led me to some information that talked about the YMCA was holding that.
The research continued, and the next big revelation came from a Drake yearbook, the 1903 Quacks. Written is the early history of athletics at Drake. An excerpt from page 146. It was perfectly natural that a school founded as Drake should take no special interest in athletics for the time being. It has only been within recent years that Western educators have earnestly considered the values of athletics in college life. That same article notes, control of athletic work was in the hands of the YMCA, subject to the faculty and university board. It also brings up the YMCA Pentathlon Contest. In 1896, the same team went to the contest at Keokuk, winning first place. In 1899 at Des Moines, C.A. Pell, Channing Smith, and Homer Holland won first place.
This trophy did exist, and it was the first time that Drake University won anything in an athletic contest, and here I had this trophy.
Confirmation comes in the 1916 Quacks. In a list of Drake athletic trophies, the earliest listed is that state pentathlon cup in 1896. And by another stroke of luck, that trophy shows up in other pictures. Here it is, the 1896 winning team with the trophy. Then twice it shows up in trophy cases. Once in 1911, and then for the last time in 1916.
You hear about the trophy was won, but you never find it. This was kind of reversed. We found the trophy and we had to go back and find out how the names and places got on it.
Also listed on the trophy are names of athletes. Charles Pell, the 9th football coach in Drake history. Channing Smith, athletics director and the namesake of the annual football banquet. W.J. Monola, a future football coach and athletic director at Drake. And Mount Air legend Homer Holland.
Yeah, I feel pretty good that saved it from a scrap heap, was able to give it back to Drake, and they never knew they had it. Nobody ever knew it was missing.
A tangible piece from the beginning of Drake Athletics, and a story for one alumni to tell forever. The one question still remaining about that story is, where has the trophy been for the last 100 years? If you do have any information on that, fire me an email, michael.admire@drake.edu. Now it's time to check in with Wayne Ford, the longest serving African American state representative in Iowa history. And even though in retirement, he has not lost his lust for life. In his modest-sized office in Des Moines East Village, Wayne Ford surrounds himself with inspirational quotes.
Ali said he was the greatest even before he knew it. I love that statement, Michael. I believe that statement.
So now it won't surprise you that Ford is good with words or finding inspiration in every aspect of life.
Part of me is retired, Michael. The other part is me. I'm a change agent. I will fight for equity for as long as I walk the face of the earth.
Ford spent the first 17 years of his life in the nation's capital.
I was on a hill in the hood, and I got top of the hill. You guessed it. That's the U.S. Capitol of America. Your capital, my capital. I saw it every day.
Then eventually Ford found his way to Des Moines through football, inspired by the story of Johnny Bright.
And for 2 or 3 years, they dropped out of the Missouri Valley because a black man got his jaw broke. UCLA, Notre Dame, Pennsylvania, Syracuse, some of the most largest schools in the world, could never say what I just told you.
Ford played in the early 70s under the guidance of legendary NFL defensive coordinator Jim Johnson.
And the times I played, you could almost beat a man with your fists. So it was a different time. My goal was to seek and destroy anyone in a different uniform.
After football, Ford remained a force, now in a life of public service.
The do or die, all for one and one for all those things helped me on Capitol Hill and gave me the inner strength to become who I am today.
In 2010, Ford retired after 14 years on Capitol Hill. He earned an honorary PhD from his alma mater and countless other awards. But Ford won't slip away into retirement quietly.
I believe that my best days are ahead, that although I'm retired, I still will continue making my mark because I'm a proud Drake Bulldog for life. And us Drake Bulldogs for life, we'll keep on barking until God takes that last breath from us.
That is the Drake Insider. I'm your host, Michael Admire. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for watching The Drake Insider, a Drake Sports Media production.